Hello. Oh, I forgot to unblock my mic. Hello. Oh, what is it? How are you guys? My day is going really well. It's just that there's something about the camera setting that I think is too much on me. My project we're watching. Oh, hi Cosmos, hi Spirit, Hyper Party, Atasca, and Vita. Hello. Oh yes. Hi Sana. Yes, I did name my live. Besides other things, I name it the Minhyuk hours. That between you and me, you know that it's about talking probably for a while, having a conversation for a while about anything, basically. Oh, really? Does he do radio or something like that? I think I see him, but I want to see like what is it like actually. I think I saw small clips, but I saw him with Juhun, but I don't know. Hello, Samara. Oh, I want to see him. I also watch my other bias, Yuta. He does have also a Japanese, I think is a radio. Uh, and I came across actually very well translated kind of video, and that they translate the radio, the program, the radio show. Yes, and I loved it. I actually find his voice really like soothing, and the topics are really interesting. I like it. I like it. I was like, oh my god, this is interesting. Because sometimes this is the thing. There are a lot of idols do radio work and stuff, but you barely get to talk about like being able to ask them, for example, questions about themselves, quiz, that doesn't have to do directly with the group and things that we already know about them. And I think that Yuta does answer a lot of TMI. Uh, but it's interesting to see him do that. Hi, Lynette. And I love it. And in one of those episodes, he was talking about, because sometimes he does recommend manga and anime or pictures. And the other day he was talking about how he started to watch the series You. I never finished You. I know that it was like a lot of people actually loved it. I find it too creepy, like too glamorized for a creepy kind of behavior. Like our main character is a stalker, so like trying to give it like, oh, he's in love, or he's looking for love, or he's like, there's a bit of like, I don't like it. But what's interesting about that show is that besides stalking being something that actually is very Scorpio, um, the actor that he also was part of Gossip Girl. Bradley, was it his name? Bradley, I don't remember. He is a double Scorpio, just like Utah. He is a Scorpio Sun with a Scorpio Moon. So that's interesting that actually he started. Oh, Penn Bradley. Yes, thank you, Parvati. So actually, the fact that he started watching a show, not because so much because of the thematic of the show is more about the energy of the actor. I think that the actor was perfect for that role because of the intensity and creepiness, and also that he's very likable, like visually, people don't mind seeing a handsome stalker somehow. So, but I think it was very well casted. I actually learned about this about 1 or 2 years ago. I followed an Argentinian astrologer, and she sometimes recommended series, and they did a astrological analysis of the main characters and stuff. And she mentioned You, and she talked about this guy's birth chart. So when he said that he was a double Scorpio, I was like, oh, that makes sense, because I was thinking about that. I was like, somehow when there's this kind of thematics, one of the characters always has a Scorpio kind of vibe. For example, in the case of my favorite show, Thriller, until this day, is the thriller of the series of Hannibal. I don't know if you watch it. It's 3 seasons. It has 3 seasons. If you haven't watched it and you like thriller, that's a very good one. And the guy that plays Hannibal Lecter as a very young, polished and handsome version is Mads Mikkelsen, I think is his name, the actor's name, and he is a Scorpio, and he's a double Scorpio. He is a Scorpio Sun with the moon in Scorpio. And the guy that plays the role of Will, that is like this sort of also psychologist that is working for the FBI, he is a Gemini with the moon in Scorpio as well. So that's why he also was really good at giving not just this vibe of, oh, I'm after a serial killer, and I have like a distinctive memory, and I have empathy, so I can chase him because I have this ability, this psychic ability. It's not about that. It's more that he does have a sort of understanding of the nature of the serial killer, in this case of Hannibal. And then there's others, of course. So it was interesting that the two actors actually had very prominent Scorpio energy. So that's really interesting to see actually. That's something that about astrology, that once you know astrology, everything everything is worth it to make like a birth chart about to go and Google for the birth chart or do it yourself. It's starting a YouTube channel now that I'm looking forward to. Oh yes, I saw. Oh, have you seen that? That I don't know if it's in another platform, but I watch it on TikTok about him asking the Sasangs to stop calling him. No, I haven't, Cosmos. But I was in a group in Discord where there were people that were talking about. They somehow taught me how to do mine, but um, it's really interesting. But it takes a while for you to actually get it. It's not that easy. Especially when they move all the planets, like it seems like as if either the signs that you have in different planets, it goes like one sign before that or one sign further, so it's interesting. I felt like I actually got really identified with the ones that I got, but there was moments that it was a bit like confusing. Like I need to sit down, and actually this person did show like books and different places where you can actually search for that, but it was too much information. It's like you definitely need to take classes of that. Actually, this person in the chat, she was really kind enough to answer. We were like four people in there asking her, like, what about me? Like, oh, I am born this year, this, and it's a lot. I want to start with tarot. What do you recommend? And what do you mean? What I recommend, like some kind of um, how to proceed, or about tarot decks, or about how to start a practice? Yes, it's really interesting actually, Cosmos. I really enjoy it. I was like, oh, this is interesting. I love it. And besides, a lot of people use it, and I think that it's very well made. It makes sense somehow. But you have to definitely, once you, this is also something about our own birth charts in the traditional zodiac wheel, that there's a lot of information. This is why I say, like, if I have to talk about astrology placements, I would be here forever, because there's always something. There's always something, like, like the aspects, like the house, etc. And this is why I always say, when we're talking about birth charts, we're talking about our idols, of course, but when we're talking about birth charts, the best thing to do is to have a birth time. If you don't have a birth time, somehow the descriptions are always going to be vague. Tarot decks. Um, it depends on how sensitive you are. Probably, if you are very observant and you do follow like symbolisms, probably you should start. The first one to start is the Rider White. That it's here. I brought today a Rider White. This is the Pamela Pamela Coleman Smith, that she was like the co-creator of the original tarot, but now it seems like they came up with a new version and they added her name on it. Because actually it was like it's funny because sometimes goes to astrologers and I hardly believe what they say. Oh yes. See, this is a different version of a Rider White. I think that this is the traditional, and I think that this is the one you should go for first. I started with the Marsella. That the Marsella is the one that has only the suits. You know, you have the 22 major arcanas, but then you have the, you know, like you have a whole picture of 9 wands. You have a whole picture of 8 swords. So you do have to memorize what the quantity of the suits mean, because they do not give you an scenario like this. This is easier because somehow it does give you an scenario of what's going on energetically in the card. You know what's the representation of this. But you know, some people start with oracles as well. You know, when I was really young, and you know, I always tell this story that there weren't, at least in my country, there weren't many tarot cards, tarot decks available. There was this and the other one, and then the Spanish uh, cards that you play with. Um, and there was no oracle. I didn't know that the oracles existed. Yes, I think I learned about oracles 10, 15 years ago, probably, like tops, like probably 13 years. But there's always have been tarot, at least. I like, you know, because sometimes oracles are really beautiful, and sometimes oracles are, mi princess help me get into tarot. Yes, but you know, what the thing about oracles is that oracles is like a faster way to incorporate the symbolism, but somehow oracles is like, for me, it doesn't go that deep. You know, it's like, because it seems like it says in the card, oh, this is the card of destiny, so you have destiny written here. So it somehow um, influences you to, oh, like I'm reading for this, and this card is telling me that it's talking about this keyword. You know, it somehow influences you to a certain topic that maybe the cards can like expand a little bit about, you know, what's really going on. You know, like, you know, this is why the tarot is so personal, because somehow the tarot speaks to you, the tarot talks to you, the tarot through the whole the whole journey, because this is like a storybook. You know, this somehow is telling you a story, like, you know, like you know, this is why we start with the 0 card, that is the Fool card, and you see that the Fool card, it's embarking on a journey. So sometimes they say that there's a tarot book that is called, I don't know how it's called in English, but it's like the Fool's Journey, you know, because it starts with the Fool, like going on a journey, and the whole cards that come after is like a representation of that journey, and it's a representation of our own personal journey as well. I heard that when you first get a tarot deck, you need to keep it with you so that tarot can get used to. Yes, yes, it would be useful. Mm. That's one thing that I always tell people that want to learn tarot, and also I was on different courses with people that you know were really intellectual about tarot, because sometimes there are courses, at least here in Argentina, where it's all about, because they mix coaching with tarot reading, you know, so it's not more about you learning how to open up your perception and connect it with the tarot. It's more about you knowing how to deliver an interpretation. And sometimes the person on the other side, or the aspect that you want to talk about, doesn't want to have like intellectual interpretation. Sometimes people people want to deep people want to go deeper. They need to have a message that is adjust to their emotional need. This is why they ask for the tarot. Because if I'm like, oh, this card represents this and this and this, it's like you are like, oh, great, yes, but what does it mean? How does this apply to me? Like, I think that today with there are a lot of intellectualization. I don't know if that's a word. I'm sorry if it's not a word, but it's about saying very pretty things or interpretations, and actually at the end you go home like feeling empty. Like you're like, okay, but what did she say? Like, what does it mean? Like, it's a bit confusing for some. But I understand that um, nowadays I see that everyone is a tarot reader. You know, when I was younger, actually, there were like a taboo about that, and actually, if you were like, if I brought my tarot deck and I would be like to my friend, "Do you want me to read for you?" They would be like, "No, don't read for me. No, I don't want that. I'm scared. What if the cards say something bad about me?" There was this whole thing, and now a lot of gurus or a lot of influencers use tarot cards. And of course that, the tarot is not an elite. I think it's the opposite. The tarot is not like an elite club that you need to have certain like a certain elementaries for you to be like, oh, I am the one that I can read this. No, you actually can do it. But there's this thing. The tarot is a very private practice. Like she said, that is necessary for you to spend time with the tarot, have it with you, learn it, use it, decode it, sort of like build a relationship with the tarot. Because there's always a meaning. It's just that, are you willing to read it? Can you read it? Like, can we really read it? Yes, like Lynette said. Mm. So it's not a competition actually, but I think that there's something about the aesthetics of tarot today that I remember when I was younger, I went to an old lady in my province that she was reading the tarot, and she had a very old deck that it was a Marsella deck, and it was really old. The deck was really like, the cards were really like the coloring. It was really, really, like it was really old. It was used. This is what I want to say. How many tarot decks do you need? And do you use them? Do you use them? Or do you collect them? And there's nothing wrong with collecting them, because I told you I have a lot. But sometimes I do wonder, like as everything in life, why do you need so many copies of this? What's the purpose? I mean, are you using them, or are you going to display them for someone to be like, oh, that's so pretty? And then a black and white tarot deck can tell you the same thing as this. There's nothing, like, you don't need different palette of colors to be like, oh, my tarot deck is amazing, So there's also like, it's like, are you practicing your intuition? Like, are you really connecting with the tool? And about, people always ask me, like, why do you read for K-pop idols? I like K-pop, and since I don't know all of them, I'm now like slowly learning about a lot of them thanks to this channel. But um, for me, it's a great practice as well. It opens my perception because I do have clients in the real life, but at the same time, reading for them, it also helps me to always keep my energy updated and always being surprised by the human nature, by the person that I'm reading for. My client has so much to teach me. You look, can you see if the extras? Oh, I don't want to read for American people. They give me. Can you use something else to substitute a tarot deck when you're starting like other decks, normal decks? Uno decks, tarot decks. Um, oh, don't be sorry, Spirit. Um, yes, Cosmos. Yes, Cosmos. Yes, they use it. I don't know. When I started, I some people start with poker decks because there's another symbolism also with the poker suits. That is the French deck, I believe. There's also symbolism behind that. I used to use the Spanish tarot deck. No, it wasn't a tarot deck, I'm sorry. It was playing cards. It was the cards that you used to hear. It's a Spanish deck. And we had it. It has 40 cards, and it has the suits, the wands, the spades, the cups, and the pentacles. And I started with those. I bought. No, I didn't bought it because I have it. I had it at my house, and it was like these tiny cards. So I used to draw the significance, the meanings on top of that. The meaning, for example, if you want to remember the meaning, you can put like the meaning here when it's upwards, and then if it has a meaning or in downwards, you can do it here. I used to have those. I think I still have it somewhere, like that it was all used and all like it wasn't, but I started reading with those. Yes, I try to connect. Yes. That's why sometimes there are certain people that I do not want to read for. I do read for people in my community because I know, like I mentioned in my videos, and I mean it, and I don't use cliche words or, like pretty nice words. For me, the people that join my community, or actually the people that resonates with my message and is able to also, like Spirit says, she's practicing astrology through an astrology uh, in astrology um, analysis. She started also practicing it. So this is why I know that you are the right people for my community. This is something that I struggled a lot with at the beginning because I was very afraid. I was like, you want people to join, but at the same time you are afraid of what kind of people is going to join. Like, are they going to join because they resonate with your message? They like your videos? They enjoy their videos? They are improving thanks to your videos? Or just to gossip? I'm very serious about it. I'm very serious about it, actually. And I think that's something that somehow when you are a creator, you have the potential to be like, I want to read for this and I don't want to read for this. And I want to read for you people that you are always here, that I know your names. I really don't know your full name, and it's okay because you are present here with me. And you have been through all the lives. You know, I have a lot of views on the lives, but when it comes to interactions, it's always the same people. So this is why when I say I appreciate the people that put the effort, you know, that they are always like liking the video, you know, like um, it's it's a difference because I feel like I can talk to you and read to you and we can talk about a lot of things through the distance. But if you do not like me, do not understand me, and are only thinking about what you want to ask when you want to ask it, then this is not the place. This is not the place. What is the significance of the death card? Oh, that's oh, thank you guys. Um, yes, I remember Lynette also was one of the first ones that commented on my video. Lindsay also. Lindsay was the one that recommended me to read for Gfriend when Gfriend was still together. We went through a lot through the videos. We went through a lot, and I learned a lot as well. So when I see random people, you know, asking for things, oh, I want you to, I'm like, you know, there are people like, I don't want to offend their idols or anything because I don't know them, but sometimes they do ask for shippings or connections that probably they, like I always say, if you want me to read for a duo, like, come on, give me someone, give me a couple of people that actually have interactions. You know, like, don't give me like, you know, like, I remember the first time that I did a reading for BTS and Black Pink. Like, it was a nice reading because it was. But you know, there's this thing about Blackpink. At least when I read them, I see them that they are not interested in K-pop groups, like in interacting with K-pop idols. Probably they do have their closest circle of friends. They do have their people. So it's like um, they are very. I wouldn't say they don't like the other K-pop idols, male idols, but there's something about them being a bit more mature in their election of who I'm going to spend time with. So probably they do hang out with older people. They hang out with their own family members, or they hang out with each other, or they hang out with people that can teach them something. Or probably they do not know about the other idols' existence because they are doing their own thing. You know, I think that Blackpink is a very busy group of females. They do have a lot of things to do. They travel. So, you know, when you ask me, oh, do Blackpink with this, do Blackpink with this group, this rookie group, and I'm like, I don't want to be rude, but I don't think Blackpink knows about your group because they are not like interacting with. Yes, they can have friendships. For example, female friends. I noticed they do have interaction with certain female of other third generation groups. Third generation groups. So if you ask me like, oh, is Blackpink? That's I want to read for Blackpink and this fourth generation group. Their energy is like, who? You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to read for this, so because I don't want to like the cards being like, these girls they don't care about these idols. I think that they do have friendships, but they are very selective about who they hang out with, especially about the opposite sex. So they can greet, they can be polite, they can spend time in an award or whatever, but they are very selective. Their energy is very selective about who they hang out with. Hi, greetings from Peru. Please do a reading of Jejon and Chucho. I enjoy your. Oh, hi, Helu. No, no, hi, Helu. And thank you so much for your coffee donation. I appreciate it. I saw it the other day, and I wanted to, like, thank you, because I know that the economic situation is not very stable right now. You know, we are all going through things globally, so I want to appreciate your effort. Um, Hi, Ethelium. I don't comment a lot because I watch your videos on my TV, but I like your mindset. Oh, thank you, Ethelium. Thank you so much. Yes, I know you're always here. Yes, yes, that's the thing, you know, and also, I think that I know it through the distance. So for me, it's really meaningful, honestly, guys, because um, it's like I have met a lot of wonderful people, and I think that you are the reason why I do what I do. Of course, like I always say, my readings can be a bit maybe boring for some people, or maybe like, I don't know, like too long, too short. You know, there's always something, something to complain about. But you know, like I do my own thing. I give it my own style. I think that that's very important. That you give it your own style, and the right people will follow. And today, I want to post a letter talking about how some stalkers were sending him messages and photos of his home and stuff. It was chaos on Twitter, and I couldn't get clear into what happened. Oh my God. Have you seen also the video of Taeyong also like asking the on a V Live? I think he was asking to SSN to stop calling him. That it was an America a number from America that kept calling him while he was on V Live, and his face looked so sad, so sad. I felt something in my heart, you know, because I know he wasn't acting, you know, like I felt like, you know, like I would be scared too if I was a young. Yes, I would be scared too. Good morning. Yes, it was sad, Sana Hurt. Yes, it was sad. I watched it and I shared it with my friends, and I was like, this is so wrong. This is so wrong. And I cannot imagine the many times this happened for him to finally be like, stop it. Like, you know, like, stop it. You know, because I know they have training in keeping a sort of composure about, you know, not showing emotions, but he looked really like he wasn't like, and I don't, and I'm he really looked disappointed. You know, that's why I think that for me was he looked sad, but I think that it was a mix of sadness and disappointment, because it's like, okay, I know you love me, I know you admire me, but please respect me. If you cannot respect me, then you don't love me. Yes, with SM artists, you know, sometimes, like I always say, they give them access to things that you're like, really? Where did they get that from? I'm quite glad that he called them. Yes. But he looked so sad. He looked so disappointed. You know, when you are when and he was like, I don't know what it's to say, you know, like, can you please stop doing what you do? So I think it was, yes. It's like, what's wrong with you? Who was the one? I think it was it Parvati, the one that asked what does the death card means? Oh. The death card actually is a card that is very controversial because a lot of people actually use it on television or use it on videos and stuff to give this very esoteric, creepy, horror time kind of place, you know, where they are, oh, I shuffled the cards and you know, the tarot deck has 78 cards, but you got this. So you are going to die. And it's so funny. It's so funny. I'm like, how come you get this card all the time? Like, do you have 78 cards of this? You definitely do have 78 cards of this. So the death card actually it's a very powerful card, and I think that it's a card that we can escape death. You know, in a sense that, you know, death comes. It doesn't matter how much you want to stop it or how much you want to bride the time, the people, the gods. You know, there's all death is here to remind us that nothing lasts forever and that you do need to be considerate of what you have, and that sometimes some things need to end for you to be able to have a new beginning and for you to be able to rebirth. You know, I don't know if you can see here, but there's these people here, there's this priest praying, like sort of welcoming to the town. You know, there's people like their children. And then here in the background, you can see like there are flowers like starting to bloom. Because actually death is necessary for you to start to blossom again. You know, it's necessary. It's the end of a cycle, the end of something, and also a transformation. That once you go through this state, you will no longer be the same. And probably this is the best for you. Because there are things about you or your circumstances that cannot keep up being the same. So, you know, this card has a lot of power, but it's not about dying. It's not about people dying. It's not about sickness. It's not about physical death. It's a death, it's a rebirth, it's the promise of a new beginning. You need to go through transformation. This is the card of a Scorpio. You know, we always talk about Scorpio energy. Well, the death card is the Scorpio card. You know, because it shows you, yes. It's like, you know, sometimes the Hierophant is scary in the sense that the Hierophant is a card that is very rigid. You know, the Hierophant is a card that talks about, oh, I am the holder of the knowledge and the truth, so you gotta do what I say. Because it's written on the books. I am the authority. And you have to follow my rules. So when you have the Hierophant, sometimes it means that you do need to follow the rules, you do need to follow tradition. And sometimes, yes, traditions can be comforting because you're like, oh, I know about this, so this is known to me. Okay, I will do what I have to do, or I will do what I know, and everything will be all right. But there are moments where you do need to go through a transformation. There are moments where you are like, okay, I need to stop doing this, or I need to stop being this, or I need to stop, like, something's gotta die, you know, something is gotta transform. So when this card comes, it's an invitation for you to start over. But for you to start over and have the brand new beginning that you want, you have to go through death. You have to let go of something. Like, you want a brand new beginning? Great. But destroy the other, destroy the old you. Because you cannot have it all. You cannot pretend like, oh yes, I will keep doing what I do and get different results. No. You want something new? You gotta do something new. You gotta face your fears. You gotta face your fears. This is why this card is, it's a bit like people fear this card, because what do we fear the most? Changes, the unknown. Like, wow, I want something new to happen in my life, but somehow I'm afraid about that new thing or new state or new circumstances. Since I don't know much about that, I know it's a future, but I don't know much about that, and I'm scared because probably it will be something new, and I don't know how I'm going to deal with that. So not having answers, not knowing ahead, it actually puts you in this situation of like, I want something new, but I don't know if I want to change. So sometimes the death card is like, come on, I'm giving you a brand new beginning. I'm finally setting you free from the old you, your old ways, your old circumstances. Bye, Cosmos. But at the same time, I need you to let go of something. You need to let go. Because the new path or the new journey that you are embarking on, you cannot take the old you. You have to come out clean. You have to rebirth. You have to be a new version. And sometimes these cards of transformation, they make you really transform. They make you like, it's not about appearances. You know, it's not about like a physical change that you are like, oh, okay, I'm going on a trip and I think that living in another country is going to be my change, my transformation. No, it's deeper. It's deeper. It's deeper. It's not about changing the scenarios. It's about you transforming yourself. And there are people who don't want to transform their ways. There are people who want to get different results with the same way and the same way they have been behaving, and no. And sometimes this card is really good because it somehow, if you had been struggling with something, for example, you wanted to close a cycle, or you wanted to close, I don't know, you wanted to put an end to a relationship, or you wanted to put an end to a partnership, or you wanted to change your circumstances because you are tired of the same thing happening over and over and over, this card is a blessing. This card is like, okay, I know you tried. I know you've been trying. I know you've been trying. You want that change. So here it is. A brand new day. This is why in the death card you see that the sun is coming out. Because yes, here there's distraction. But here a brand new day is arising. So it's a new opportunity for you. How would you interpret the death card appearing in a reading for a relationship? That's very helpful. Oh, I do need to see the other cards. But I think that it could represent that there are things that the relationship needs to change in order to stay healthy. You know, that probably there are things that they need to keep the transformation going. You know, in the sense that you, just because you are happy and healthy doesn't mean that you will settle for that and will relax and be like, oh yes, we're happy. No, you need to keep bringing transformation. You need to change things about yourself. You need to keep improving about yourself, about your connection with others, you know, about you really like bringing changes into relationship without, you know, being like, you know, that something's gotta change, you know, that you cannot like be like, okay, like we are happy, you know, because if someone says to me, oh, we are in a healthy, happy relationship, and the death card comes up, it's like, What is your definition of happy? What is your definition of healthy? Because the death card here is showing something else. Yes. Yes, spirit. Yes. In one way or another, life. And you know, that's something that there are people that probably are waiting for a change in their lives forever, and it never happens. You know, especially, you know, we were talking about the Hierophant. There are people that probably lived in very, you know, orthodox or traditional or very religious family or background, and there are people in there that they probably have this desire of, I want to change in my life, like I want to see other people, I want to see the world, I want to change. I want to change in my life. It's like, it's not that I don't appreciate my family and everything that I have available, but I want something else. And someone who appears to be in really sweet relationships, there are different cards. Yes. Yes. That happens also with K-pop idols dynamics as well. You know, but it's hard to say it because not because of the fans. It's because it's their work. So it doesn't surprise me that actually probably the one member that you think it's the most innocent, or probably the member that looks the most sweet, actually has, you know, a lot of other traits in his personality about getting what he wants or what she wants. So for me, it's like idols intention, especially when we are talking about group dynamic and we were talking about how they act when they want to achieve a certain concept, for example. Some of them are very ambitious, like Cosmos. Some of them are really ambitious, more ambitious than what you realize. I feel the hardest part to change it, not knowing what to say. Yes, yes, yes. It's just that, and you're afraid that if you choose a way to start, you're like, okay, I'm going to start with this. And you're like, okay, am I starting on the right foot? Am I choosing the right? And sometimes it's just small changes. You know, change is it's about that. It's not necessary for you to do a massive change. Like, change a small thing in your routine. Like, make a decision about, okay, I'm going to do this in a different way, or I'm going to go to study this, or I'm going to go out to this place that I don't know. You know, it's a small change, and that small change is going to lead to other small changes, and that's when you're going to get it. And that will also get your energy used to the movement of, like, wow, like I'm really entering a new state in my life, so I'm happy. So if there's a big transformation or change in my circumstances, since I am already on the way and I'm already on the move, I'm like, okay, bring it on. Like, is this new? Okay, great. I love new things because you are already training, you know, you're already trained to movement, to change, to be like, oh, okay, well, it's not for here, it's not over here, okay, I will go the other way. Okay, do you want me to adapt to whatever's going on? Okay, instead of panicking. But if you had always stayed in the same place, of course, you're going to experience anxiety because you are so stuck in the same routine or in the same environment. So it's like when someone comes from the outside to be like, okay, we gotta change this, and you're like, no, I don't want to change this. I want to stay here. Don't move me. I don't know. I don't know how to. I feel threatened by reality. I don't want to. What are your favorite type of reading? Um, I do a lot of relationship readings. I do a lot of relationship readings, and I do enjoy them because I think it's a great way to make the client also take responsibility of the dynamic. You know, because sometimes there are people that ask me like, okay, like, no, I don't know, I'm in a relationship with this person. So I want to know, you know, how he feels. I had a consult, I had a person, a client like this last week, and she was like, okay, I want to know how he feels about our relationship. And she gave me his name and everything. But I was like, okay, but I'm not going to read. I need you to give me also your date of birth because I'm not just going to read for him. You know, it's I have to go through you to get to him. So I always do the dynamic readings, you know, the ones that I do for the idols. And it it's amazing how the cards are really smart in that sense because yes, they can tell me something about the other person that they're interested about, but at the same time it all comes down to the person that requested the reading, because actually the one that has the answers or the one that is really interested in something changing is the one asking. So the tarot, it's very blunt about that. You know, it's like, okay, you are asking me what does this person feel about the relationship, but what about you? What do you feel about the relationship? Because sometimes the problem is not the other person. Sometimes the problem is that you are putting too much expectation on what that the other want from me, and like, what do you want for yourself? You know, that's and it's about going back to you. You know, the more you know yourself, the more you are eager to learn about yourself, the more power you have. And when I say power, it's not like to dominate others. It's like you have the power to be like, oh, okay, you know, I want this. This is off topic, but I have a friend who's an Aquarius, Capricorn, Mercury. Sometimes I feel like we get close. Then she starts acting a bit cold. If there's something that I did, but it's very confusing because he doesn't really express, but at the same time I feel that probably I don't know that person, but probably there could be something. You know, if she is a moon in Scorpio, probably there's something that she's not telling you, but there's something that bothers her, but she doesn't want to say it because she does. I mean, because sometimes when we don't say things, it's either because we think that it's something that it's somehow our fault. It's like it's not necessary for her to be like, oh, you this, you know. It's more about how probably she does know that she gets offended or that something offensive happened and that it's not that big of a deal, but probably for her it's like too much of a deal that she cannot let it go. So, but I think that if she doesn't say it, it's because probably it's just a nonsense. You know, that's why she doesn't say it. But I'm speculating here because I don't know her. Cancer, Mercury. Um, I noticed that there's a lot of sweetness in their language. You know, they probably talk a lot about their people, you know, my family, my tribe, my people, you know, and if they consider you part of their people, of their family, and if they appreciate you, they always like include you in this sort of circle of very special people, you know. So they always remind you like, oh yes, we are a great team, or yes, you are like a family, yes, I appreciate you, you know. They do have this very nurturing. They make you feel like you belong with them, you know. They make you feel, and they are very intuitive, so probably their speech is very emotional. But sometimes, you know, cancer energy can also be a bit manipulative. So, you know, like all water signs, you know, they do have, it depends of how they are affected by the moon phases a lot. So probably it depends of if they are moody, or if they are in a good mood, or if how they're feeling emotionally, because somehow, you know, like they do have mood swings. Sometimes they do keep things to themselves. They, even though they feel so much, sometimes they do not express it. They can be passive aggressive too. So Moon in Cancer and Mars in Capricorn. No. If you have a Moon in Cancer, I think that probably you can be very expressive and also very sentimental. You know, Moon in Cancer, they tend to be very, very emotional. And because the moon, the Cancer is ruled by the moon. So a Moon in Cancer person is very comfortable with how they feel. So they do not, yes, they are very expressive. Yes. They're very expressive about what they like and what they don't like, you know. And Mars in Capricorn, it doesn't influence that much how the expressiveness of their feelings. Actually, it rules another different side of their lives, that it has to do with getting results, or getting something done, or being like being committed to something, you know, like very responsible, you know, having this very like a strong bone structure, you know, physical. They are very stable. And yes, the reactions physically can seem a bit like intimidating, because they move towards results. They don't waste their energy. They know that if they move towards something, it's because they plan to get something out of that. They are very hardworking as well, but it doesn't influence us. I don't think. A Moon in Cancer is more about how they feel. Having Mars in Cancer is a weak placement to have. No, no. I have Moon in Pisces. It's not a weak. I don't think that that's something that um, I had a lot of arguments with my teacher. That I think that with my astrology teacher, she was a Cancer sun, and you know, because I think that you can use all the energies. I don't think that sometimes people are very catastrophic about what is the right energy or the wrong energy, you know. And I think that I know what they mean by that. I know that probably is to say this, okay, Mars is a planet of you know, of action. So probably if you have a water sign in Mars, it's going to be debilitated, or it's going to be a bit hard for you to express anger. and to be assertive or to be aggressive. It's going, the water sign is going to feel a bit like, oh no, I don't want to fight, I don't want to get physical, I hate confrontations, I get really emotional when I start to fight with someone, or when I start an argument, I get really emotional, like I cannot say what's on my mind because I don't like to fight or I don't like to have an argument. But I think that sometimes water placements, they do have their tools. Um, they do have their tools. They do have their resources. Cancer is really good at manipulating emotionally people. Yes. Of course, that probably a Mars in Cancer is not going to physically go after you, but probably if you attack their family or if you attacked their loved ones, they could potentially like get physical and hurt you. It's just that they have this sort of atmosphere of like, oh, I am a Mars in Cancer, like, like I'm very peaceful, or I'm very sweet, or I'm very loving. Yes, they are loving until they are not. Don't forget that the crab has its things. So it depends of what they called an aggression. What they considered in. It's not about being reactive to an insult. It's more about like what triggers them physically. You know. I have met a lot of Cancer people that they are pretty aggressive actually. So of course that if you have a Mars in Aries or a Mars in Scorpio, it's easier for you to be intimidating even physically to people. Like probably you are this very passionate person, this very blunt person that even when you're with your body, you show people that you are ready to fight. And you probably do have a physical structure or the way you present yourself that it shows that you are this sort of like a boxer. Like you are this sort of like this trained. Even it doesn't matter if you had practiced martial arts or not, but you do have this sort of body or this sort of like presence that people know that if you get angry, you could potentially like invade their space and get aggressive physically, get into a fight. And Mars in Aries, they sometimes when they get angry, they do use their body. They you see them how they get angry because they push their body towards you. They're not avoiding the conflict, they go towards the conflict. And for Scorpio, it's also the same. It's just that for Scorpio, it's like microaggressions. For Scorpio, it's more about, yes, I'm going to attack you, but you're not going to see me. Sort of ninja kind of. I'm going to do certain attacks on you, but you're not going to see me doing it. So I'm not going to attack you when you expect me to attack you. I'm going to wait. I'm going to study the situation, and then I'm going to attack you. Yes. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I think it was invented by a Mars in Scorpio. And I think that Bruce Lee had a Mars in Scorpio. I think that Bruce Lee, he was a Sagittarius with the moon in Scorpio, but I think that also his Mars was in Scorpio. But he was very Sagittarius at the same time. I remember his famous phrase when he said, "Be water, my friend. Be water." That's very moon in Scorpio. Is like, be water. For a fire sign to tell you to be water, You definitely have to have water placements for you to have that kind of the kind of perception, you know, that you do need to flow with the movement of your body. You don't attack right away. You dissolve, you immerse, you flow, you transform. The water is transformation as well. Because the water looks, when it is still, it looks very harmless. Very harmless. So maybe we should start talking about the subject of the day, you know, that I put on the title, that it's about the Four of Swords. Yeah, I always call it the hiatus card. Where is it? Hey Angel, I'm very new to tarot, so my curiosity is on basic and Kpop readings. From where do the cards read from? The reader. From where do the cards read from? They probably read from their public persona. I use the information that is available on the internet, nothing more. But they are, since they are public personas, probably I do not even need their names or birth times, or because I have their image, you know, they're everywhere. You know, it's in my unconscious somehow. It's not, you know, a random client that I never seen in my life, or probably I will never see or meet. It's someone that is always there, you know, that it's on music videos, that is on posters, it's on cards, you know, it's on the internet. So probably, you know, my I always concentrate also on the picture. But that's the thing with the tarot. At least that's what I experienced reading for them. That the tarot is always going to go deeper. So yes, I have an image. I'm reading for a public persona. I start from that. But then the tarot always has like a deeper meaning. That's why when because in my case, I would trust more the tarot than actually what is published about that person, because we're talking about a public person, so we cannot trust, you know. And this is something that sometimes when someone disagrees with my interpretation, or they are like, oh, but I know that this member and this member, they used to train together, for example. They were best friends from day one. They spent a lot of time together. You know, like me, for example, reading like, oh, I don't think they are that close, or I don't think they see each other that frequently, you know, and people are like, oh no, because there's footage of them from 2015, them hanging out together. And I'm like, okay, yes, you are presenting me information that you saw online that is, yes, it's physical, it's proven, you know, it's there. But in the world of tarot, in the world of energies, they always go beyond what is published. They always go to the core of the question. So if you do not have the maturity to be like, oh, maybe she presented something different in there. Maybe I should like take it or not, but maybe I should like expand. Because then what happens is that news comes up about certain idols behaving in a certain way or being in a certain way. So it's like how many times are you going to be holding on to an image of 2015 and realizing that probably that is not even the person, that it was all staged. So there are some things that I think that if you do have facts or if you do have knowledge of, oh yes, I saw them this, like great for you. Great for you that you accumulated all that information. This is a tarot reading. Choose a tarot reading, but this is a tarot reading. And also, people sometimes want to see what they want to see, and they see what they want to see, and they hear what they want to hear. They hear what they want to hear. So, sometimes this is why people get so defensive, when I'm like, and my readings are not that scandalous, like, oh no, like, like I'm not stating something like, oh, no, but they just get offensive, they get on the defense, like, no, that's not the vision that I have of him. I know he or her are like this and this and this. And it's like, great, I'm happy for you. You do with K-pop and with your perception of K-pop, you do what you want to do with them. Okay, Sana. I have more to do next week. So this is and I think that people fight for the dumbest reasons, because it's like, I know that you love your favorites, but you have to love yourself first, because it's like, and you also need to be respectful to the other person. Like, why would you get upset? Why would you get upset? But yes, it's interesting, actually. It's interesting how I think the other day I don't know, because these things are scripted, but I was watching this show on YouTube where there was this YG artist. I think it was Jenny, Mino, some Icon members and Treasure members, and then the other artists that are like the seniors. Um, um, that I do not know much about, so I don't want to mention because I probably get them wrong. But I saw that they did some kind of also a variety show, and it was really, yes, game caterers. I love it. I really enjoy that. I like that guy that does that. Um, and it was funny. I don't know if it's real or not, because I don't know if they said it as a joke or being sarcastic or something like that. But when they were talking about how a lot of them were like um, really happy to actually meet Jenny for the first time. You know, there were people that were like, "Oh yes, like I seen her around, but I never said hi to her. Like I never talked to her. Actually, this is my first time now that we are here." And one of them, it was Icon member. It was a Song, I think is his name, Song, the one that has like a chef community. That I always watch his videos as well. And he also said hi to Jenny, and he is part of Icon. And and I was like, how come it's the first? You say it's the first time you see Jenny, like the first time you come close to her to say hi, like, you know. And I was like, maybe that's a reality. You know, because of Icon members, he was the only. I understand Treasure members, for example, being like, "Oh, we haven't met Jenny, like, we haven't shared a proper introduction or been in the same room or something like that." But from an Icon member, not having greeting Jenny for the first time, it's like, oh wow. So this is what I want to say, you know, like when we were talking about this earlier, that sometimes people do speculate, like this group gets along with this group, and this group, since they are under the same company, they are this family, and actually they probably don't even talk to each other. Yes, yes. So sometimes when they ask for these shipping readings or something like that, you know, and I was like, this is why when I say that actually, you know, I talk about Blackpink. I think that Blackpink actually do hang out with people, but they do not hang out so much with K-pop idols. They hang out with people from different industries, from different backgrounds. They hang out with producers, they hang out with songwriters, they hang out with people from the fashion industry, you know, they hang out with CEOs, they hang out with artists, actors, actresses. But I don't, you know, like, I don't think they are that interested into getting closer to a fellow K-pop idol, because their their line of work is not so much about, oh yes, I'm going to Inkigayo, or I'm going to go to the other music show to because they are focused uh, on another experiences and work related things. A lot of SM idols and females interact, but behind the scenes. Yes, that one I did see. With SM, they have this SM family, SM town concerts. So definitely you do see that they know each other. By spirit, yes, that's in that sense, Parvati, I do. That's why sometimes when I do um, dynamic readings or friendship readings, most of them are SM artists, because SM artists do have a variety of K-pop idols connections. I seen that. I seen that. I seen that. But in the case of YG, sometimes it's hard for me to read. It's hard for me to read. You know, because the energy is so vague. You know, sometimes this is why when I read for Treasure, I feel so bad for these guys, but because I always have like this very stuck energy, you know, and I'm like, I hate it because I want them to succeed, you know, I want them to have their moment to shine, but sometimes I always see this stagnation. Oh, okay, okay, Spirit. Monster X concert, okay. Okay, guys, do you want to start with the questions if you have, so I can write it down and so we can finish this very soon? The other day we were like almost like 3 hours here. I don't want to keep you. Um, I want to go to the concert break. Oh, they never come to Latin America. At least I don't have news, so I don't know about concerts. I do enjoy them from the perspective of the fans that share them because I actually never got the chance to go yet. Because it's hard for them to actually come here. I don't think they have to actually, because our country, I don't think it pays them that much. Mm. Mm. So it's funny when they say worldwide. Sometimes they say worldwide tour and they go to America. And I'm like, wow, that's so worldwide. But okay, you know, they do need to make money. So let's let them get paid. Oh, yeah, yes, Parvati. Yes, it's like, okay, thank you. Like, like I didn't expect my country to make it, actually, you know. Um, but I don't know, maybe Brazil, Chile as top, you know, as Mexico. But oh well. Oh, Latin America, this is us. And we do enjoy concerts a lot. We are really excited people. I don't think that, but I don't think that the no clapping and stuff would be really useful for us. Oh, where are you from, Stilium? It's not Stilium, it's Esliam. What do I always say your username wrong? Yes, it's, yes, Esliam. Concert or non-K-pop concert? Non-K-pop concert I have been, but K-pop concert not yet. Oh, France. Oh, not K-pop. K-pop for yes. Um, but K-pop not yet. And I would love to go to a K-pop concert. Like I would feel really weird going there, you know, because I know that nowadays it's more normal to have like people of my age going to K-pop concerts, but I would feel still a bit like I would probably have to convince my niece or, you know, some of my teenager niece to go with me because I would feel a bit like lonely, you know, you know, like so I can like pretend that I'm babysitting her and actually I'm enjoying it myself. But oh well, you know. We are not that progressed here, you know. Sometimes still there's a lot of yes. Sometimes there's a lot of like prejudice. If they come to Brazil, I would go. I would go. I would travel to Brazil to see them. Yes, I know. I know, but oh well. We are not that young, so you know, I have to find a sort of excuse, you know, to be like, oh, I'm going to deliver some merchandising, or I should get like a job at the concert, you know, like, you know, like the security person or something like that, you know, in my inner K-pop fangirl will be screaming inside, you know, but I will be doing my job at a K-pop concert. You know, like the people that they hand you water and stuff and make sure that you're okay, that you do not die or collapse of nervousness. I would love to do that. I think it's called rescatist or something like that. Um, because it's also about the unity, the atmosphere of being with the a lot of people that feel the same love and appreciation that you feel for the artist, you know, so it must be really exhilarating. It's overwhelmed, but it's fun. I'm judged because I always go alone. Oh, oh wait. Oh, can you pull some cards for some and Mingy, guys? Yes, that guy does. Sun and Mingy. Why do people always worry about Sun and Mingy? It's not the first time that I read that, and I'm like, it's. Do you have other questions, guys? So I can. Oh, I saw their YouTube live. Was it awkward, Parvati? I have no idea. I thought it's because they're both the two most popular members. And also, you know, because I know they both have Mars in Scorpio. And I know that Mingy is a moon in Cancer. And of course, Sun is a Cancer. But Sun is another breed of Cancer, actually. I don't think he's more in touch with this Gemini moon. You know, he's very hyperactive and very sweet. But Mingy does sometimes look like, you know, he has a lot of emotional things that he overcomes day by day. You know, I think that sometimes people forget what he went through. You know, it's like they expect him to be all, you know, and sometimes you feel like it, sometimes you don't, you know, and I think that he's very genuine about that. Oh, you know, guys, I was thinking that maybe during the week I will do in Instagram live, because I never done an Instagram live before. So I wanted to do it, but I don't have many followers because I think that I have 9 followers so far, because this is my I have a Spanish account for my Spanish speaker clients. So I decided to make one in English. That I did a community post about that, because I was thinking that I would love to hang out during the week, probably like not at this hour, more like in my nighttime. But I would love to do an Instagram live, because I never done it, you know. And I also was thinking about doing a TikTok live, but I heard some people that they mentioned me that sometimes TikTok, you do get, you know, some random trolls, or, you know, people that spam the chat and they leave very malicious comments. You know, I think that here it had happened, and some of you report them. So I don't want, you know, like people that actually don't get what our community is about here. I don't want, you know, like them to appear on the chat, you know. So I was thinking more about Instagram, that I think that it would be safer, because, you know, only the people that follow me or knows my Instagram account can join. So I was thinking about that. I still haven't decided what day of the week. Probably first day, it would be okay. In the country that you're from, how does the general public feel about psychics, mediums, or tarot readers? I heard in TikTok that they were trying to get rid of or censor tarot readers and spirituality. Sana heard I came across, this is why I don't want to do TikTok lives, because it's very, it's very fishy. I don't like it. I personally don't like it. There's a lot of, and they have a lot of followers and stuff, and the energy was very tense. And also the people that, there were some tarot readers that they were, their energy wasn't very nice. You know, they would answer these very random questions, you know, about, and people giving that their money, you know, and I was like, okay, yes, I understand. Of course, that it's great to have like a sort of community that does support your work and pay you or give you some kind of gift or some kind of donation. But when, and it's not that I went inside the live, but they, especially yesterday, I don't know if Saturdays is a day that everyone does a live, but the tarot, because since my channel is of tarot, the tarot readers always come, and I always end up blocking them because I think that there's a lot of very dark energy around that. Like I don't, and first of all, I was seeing people like pulling random cards, you know, being like, oh yes, no, what did you ask me? Oh, you want to know about this? Okay, this and this. Oh no, this person, that person, the other, and no, and also pulling cards as if it's a poker game, you know, and I feel like, you know, for me, energetically, I think I would get sick or something like that. Because of the fast of how things happen actually during the lives. You know, there's a lot of pressure of, oh yes, I have one question for $10, you know, one question for $12 and stuff like that. And I'm like, you know, and then they writing down, you know, like, oh, okay, did you send me a gift? Oh, which gift did you send me? You know, so it seems very toxic. I don't know, but I don't think it's about the readers because each one has their style. It's more about the people that just want to consume that, you know, fast, like, come on, give me an answer. I want an answer. I have a question. I have a question, you know, like a lottery ticket, you know, like a bingo, like bingo, you know, and it's like, slow down, you know, please slow down because I am a person myself, and I need to concentrate, like, you know, so. And about, I think it was Angel, the one that asked me, how does my country view tarot readers and mediumship and stuff? I think that they are trending these days, honestly. Instagram is full because they come into recommendations for me. I do follow a few, but I usually don't follow much tarot readers because only I do follow one that it's very good, that they have a podcast, that they both girls are psychologists, both of them, and they use the tarot as an, like a therapy, you know, therapy tool, therapeutic tool, and it's very similar to what I do. But they are, I think they are American, and they are so gentle. You know, these girls are, these women are so gentle. They have a podcast that I think is called the Tarot Diagnosis, and they are lovely, and they give you such a great insight about life struggles and stuff. So, uh, but I don't know. like, and when I also am a fan of crystals and stuff. I do love crystals. But then when I started to see a lot of content of people with these huge crystals of all the colors and all the 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 complexity of the variation of colors, like this giant pillar of amethyst, and I was like, you don't need to have that many crystals. Like, this is something that there's something about the new age. I wouldn't say new age because I don't know if you know about new age, but there's a spiritual movement, that it's very shallow. It's all about consumption. It's all about that if you want to reach a certain level of happiness, you need to purchase something. So I don't want to have that kind of experiences with my clients. Of course, that yes, you have to pay. Yes, there are some services, like all services, that you do have to pay, but it's not about like a constant consumption that it seems like you are like climbing a certain like ladder of, like, oh, okay, now I'm okay, now that I got this, I'm okay, but I need to buy this new course so I can be smarter, and then I have to buy this new course to be one level up, and then this and this and this, and no, it's too consuming, it's too um, it leaves you weak, and you are actually not facing your problems. You are buying stuff, you are buying courses, or you are buying, I don't know, books, you are buying a lot of things, but you are not absorbing the knowledge. You are not integrating what you know. You are just fooling yourself with stuff that doesn't make you happy. So I don't want to contribute to that. But I understand people that does it because, like I always say, if I sell something and I have an audience that wants it, it's because someone resonated with my message. So, it's no longer my responsibility. It's what the other person wants to consume as well. So if someone wants to consume what I have to give, is a sort of like compliment. It's a compliment that you are buying my stuff, that you're buying my services, that it's a sort of compliment, like, oh, I like what you do, I want to pay you. But, like, am I adding value to your experience, or am I like a sort of McDonald's of spirituality? Like, oh, you can take this combo with this combo and this combo, and it seems like you never end, like. Hand reading are interesting too. A lot of people are made to a consumer and get addicted to that. Oh, yes. When I was in my 20s, I remember I went to a public square or something like that, and here in my country there's a lot of gypsies, but from old school gypsies. And they would always be sitting in that square, waiting for people to pass by, especially females, and very young, impressionable females, and they would grab you by the hand, and they would like talk to you about your future. Oh, you want to know your future? Oh, you want to, oh, I know this about you. This is going to happen to you. Oh, you're such a lovely young lady, and they would trick you into you going to, for them to read your palm, like sometimes they did have tarot cards, but they, like I mentioned, they didn't use tarot cards back then. We used the Spanish deck that you play games with. But sometimes what these people would do is that they would, how do you call it when there are these thieves that handpocking? Is it when they steal from you without you even realizing that they are taking money out of you, or they are taking your wallet, or they are like taking the things that you have on yourself and you don't realize that they are doing it because they are like somehow putting on a show and you don't realize that this is happening. Pickpockets. Thank you. Yes. Thank you, Parvati. Yeah. Yes, Elif. That's why people started to be afraid and a bit like they would a bit discriminate actually, like, gypsy people, because actually we it's like not all of them were like that, but they were really insistent. They would get on your way. You would be walking, towards somewhere, and they would get on your path, on your way, and they would be like trying to convince you to purchase something from them or let them read your hand. And they would do that to actually very young females because they would know that somehow, there's always something, some insecurity or some question or some instability that we do feel about ourselves and about our relationships with others. Oh no, Cosmos, you didn't miss. We are here talking about gypsies in my country, like that they used to do the palm reading thing, and that sometimes they used to steal from people's pockets, but not all of them, not all of them. But they used to, I don't know if they still do, if they used to sit on the squares, and especially they wait for you to pass, and they talk to you, and they are so convincing. I don't know if maybe it's because they get in your way, so they absorb your intuition, and they are dressed so funny at the same time. Like they are dressed as gypsies, with the long skirts, especially the females, the long skirts, the scarves on their hands, very long hair, very like Spanish looking, like, with jewelry, very, very eccentric. So you would know that it's a gypsy. But poor people. I just I think about that. How you know some people actually become readers, psychics, palm readers, because they do have a calling, and nowadays we do have the potential to be like, oh, I think I'm going to start reading tarot, so I'm going to order it online and I'm going to buy it. But probably for females back then, to somehow being a tarot reader or being a palm reader or being a psychic or being a healer, it was a way of also gaining a bit of independence. Like, okay, I have the will, I want to help someone, or I am very poor, so I need to come out with a sort of resource. I need to, like, do something of value that I can help the people around me. This is why females resonate so much with readings, because we do somehow understand each other's struggles. And sometimes it's not about the message that is delivered, it's more about you having a moment where you are like, okay, I'm going to get a tarot reading. I want to focus on myself. I want someone to tell me about myself. I want someone to tell me about my potential, or tell me about something that probably I'm not seeing in myself. I want to go soul searching, and I want this random tarot reader to help me with that. But not all of them come with the most positive responses, especially here in Latin America. There are a lot of tarot readers of the very old school, where they would like instigate, like, hello Lilian. They would like put fear on you. They would tell you that, oh yes, your partner is going to cheat on you. You're going to get, I don't know, hit by a car. Disculpa si está fuera de tema, pero mi crush es... Luna en Escorpio. En Libra. Yes, if it's in the 8th house, it's like having a moon in Scorpio. Mm. Yes, happy Sunday, Lilian. Yes, it's like a moon in Scorpio because it does absorb the energy of the house. So yes, you can have traits of being a very harmonized, kind of mm, moon in Libra, but somehow you do have your moments where you want to be deeper or where you want to search different meanings. And maybe that's the reason why you attract a Scorpio moon or a Scorpio energy, because somehow your emotional needs are ruled by the Scorpio house. So you do have this desire to be understood by having encounters or relationships or connection with very scorpionic nature people, you know. So it probably also means that you have this very strong emotional need of having this very strong bond, and of being um, of like you, because of a Libra moon, you do adapt to what the other person wants of the relationship. You are this, you try to keep a harmony somehow, but since it's in the 8th house, it also, like, it means that you are looking for a deeper connection, not just being in a relationship just because sometimes Libra moon people, they do have the need to be in a relationship because they cannot conceive life without the other part, because Libra needs that balance. Libra needs the other. So maybe for you it's like, okay, I want the other, but I want this person to have this sort of deepness, because if not, I feel like I cannot connect. And if I don't connect in a very deep and spiritual way, I feel like it's not good enough, like there's something missing. So, but good luck with that Moon Scorpio person, because we are complex. We do have a very complex nature. Like sometimes we can seem like we are really passionate, but then we can be really closed off, so, and not show emotions and being a bit evasive. So you do have to have a lot of patience and don't take things too seriously. Like, just go with the flow. Remember that the Moon in Scorpio needs a lot of time to open up. It's not something that they will be just right away talking about how they feel. They need to have the right moment, the right time, the right atmosphere, so it's a whole process. It's a whole process of trusting, and also sometimes of putting the relationship or putting the other person to some kind of test to see if you are trustworthy. They do observe you a lot. They're going to observe a lot about not only what you say, but also what you do. So if they feel like you are a bit like that, you are not being very clear, if there's something that they are not very sure about you, they would probably add a bit distant with you. They will not tell you, but they would always be like watching you, like keeping you at arm's length, like this. So don't take it personally. It's just a defense mechanism. Oh, I'm glad. Okay, guys, let's move on to the questions. I have 2 already. Do you have any more? Win-win. Hi, Hilal. Do you have your own Discord server? You know, Sana, I was thinking about doing one, about doing a Discord. I was thinking about that. I don't know how to manage it, but I noticed they are a lot of fun. BTS Las Vegas concerts. Yes, I was thinking about that. I would love that. It's just that I don't know how to manage it, but I will look into that. And yes, I would love to have one. Yes, because I think we learn a lot about each other. I would love to have, like more, like not because I know that people have lives, we all have lives, but I would love, to keep connected during the week, and not so much. And probably talk about personal things, like things we talk about here, and maybe that are not K-pop related, but, that we can have our own moments of connection and talk about movies. I'm a big fan of movies and series, so we could also talk about those. um, K-dramas. I'm very picky about K-dramas, nevertheless. This girl sounds. Oh, great. Are you take quest now? I just came home. Yes. Do you have a question, Ilal? I think BTS is performing at the Grammys. I think it is. I think it is. I don't know. My army friend said something about that. I didn't really pay much attention. I should pay more attention. I should pay more attention. Like they used to talk about that, and I don't know. We were laughing about something else, and we got out. For Monta X and Wonder While. You feel from Monta X and Wonder While. Oh, thank you, Esliam. Monster X and Wono. Oh, okay. Okay. Yes, the other day my friend was telling me about this. She was like, "Why don't you make a Discord?" Because I did actually a very casual one for the three of us to so we because we use the voice chat a lot. So oh I don't. Oh, Wongo. Oh, from my previous experience, I think they're okay. Do you want a card for Wongo, Hilal? I think they're okay actually. Yes, there's something about their energy that is very stable. So I think that they are always talking to each other because there's a sense of familiarity. There's this sense of I remember when I read for them. There's this sense of it's just that they have so much on each other's minds. They are so hardworking. They're always thinking about, okay, what can we do next? Like, okay, we do not have this member right now, but what can we do? The ones that we are here, like, what can we do? So they're always busy. They're always thinking about ways of. This is why when you have members that are very sociable or are very chatty or are very outgoing and they have this sort of very funny persona, you do encourage the group as well. So they are always thinking. They are thinking machines. They are always thinking. You know. So they're really happy for each other. I think that they came to a conclusion of like, okay, it is what it was meant to be. It is what it was meant to be. No regrets. said recently that he went to other shows and saw other celeb acting different while filming, but how? Yes. It's just that for them, I watched a few K-pop groups. I think I watched an NCT 127 blog about when they were in America, and how they came across these random celebrities that would take pictures with them. And actually, I find that I know that they have to make connections. Of course, they have to make a name for themselves, and the fans were already there. But it's just that they are not used to that sort of like, okay, you take a picture with me and we upload it in each other's, and you follow me on Twitter and I follow you on Twitter. I think that they are more of my relationship primarily is with my fans. My relationship first is with my fans. And then, it seems like they are getting used to the idea of coming into random people that, yes, they're famous, of course, that you will be like, oh, yes, that's great, hello, how are you? But, in this sense, they are like, it seems like they grab them, like, oh, there you are, come here, take a picture with me, take a selfie with me. And they are like, okay, like, and also I saw a very small, brief scene of, I think it was an MTV and interviewer, like this host, that he said hi to all the members, and then they line up the seven or the eight of nine of them, is it? I think it's nine. And Taeyeon had the mic on his hand, so this guy saw them, like he was like looking at the camera, and he like proceed to come close to him to ask him a question while they were trying to do their usual greeting, where they do the group presentation that they always do, like, oh, we are in CTU. And the guy was like on the way, and Taeyeon gave him this sort of side eye, like, uh, please wait until we greet like this before we start talking, and then you can ask me the questions. It was a very weird, that I think that probably the guy that interviewed them, they should have known that K-pop idols, they do introduce themselves first to the camera, and then you can ask them a question. That they do have a sort of like, like way of doing things. And I think the same thing happened to BTS at the Grammys red carpet one year. That, yes, it was the Grammys. Yes, I think it was the first time that they came to the Grammys, and with Ryan Seacrest, I think it was Ryan Seacrest also, the one that in these guys literally interrupt them because they were like saying, oh, you're BTS, what? And the guy didn't care. He just kept talking and put the microphone on their faces, So I found that very, very rude and very condescending. Like if you're so interested in having K-pop figures in your shows or your red carpets, please do some research. Do some research, like Google. Oh, I think the one in Spain, I saw it. NCT one side. Wait, Capital Records. Oh yes, I think it was that one. That one, Parvati. That one. That they were on the red carpet of the VMAs, I think it was. You know that, but in this case, the host, the way he looked at Taeyong, he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, like I'm going to let you finish," But Taeyeon looked confused as well. But in the case of BTS and Ryan Seacrest, it was very, he definitely had an attitude of like, okay, like I want to finish this interview, so this is my moment, and I didn't like it. The guys also look at him like, especially B, B stare at him like, like, come on, like. Okay, guys. Any more? I have 6 questions. I think I have 6 questions. Yes, got 7 also. Got 7 also. Oh, I didn't see that. Do you have any more questions, guys? I have 7. I can take one. One more. I don't know. I don't know, Capricorn. It's marketing. Hi, Vanessa. It's marketing, Capricorn. Just be patient. Don't take it personally. Be patient. Everything with YG artists is very slow. It's very slow. If you are a Blink, you know it better than myself, actually. Just don't take it personally. The girls are fine. The girls are fine. Just be patient. I know if I were a Blink, I would be upset. I'm not a Blink and I'm upset myself. But just, be patient. You will have a comeback this year, but just don't take it personally because these people are very, it's like they fueled, they absorb the fans' desperation. Um, mm, so, it's like YG is too busy releasing Blackpink in Korea, learn Korean language. Oh my god. Yes. Just take it as part of a company thing, like the girls are fine. The girls are already used to this, actually, they're already used to this. They are no longer like fighting this, they are like, okay, okay. But they are well taken care of, don't worry. They are very well taken care of. That's important, that they don't like use them too much. Isn't Jisoo having a solo? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I think she's the one that needs to have a solo, right? She's the only one left. I hope they do give her a good song. Oh my god. It's just that YG is so unflexible. It's so unflexible. That's why I say to the fans, don't get emotional with them because they are doing this on purpose. They are doing this on purpose. So you shouldn't get emotional. You enjoy what you have when you have it. And if you are too anxious, okay, maybe you should look into other groups and start like consuming other groups that are more present or active right now. But just don't get obsessed with the results because they know what they're doing. They definitely are playing with the fans. So don't give them more money. Two p.m. Thank you. Okay. Yes, we need her solo, definitely. I don't know. I don't think that is a purpose actually. I don't know. But I think that these people function very differently to what we think emotionally. I'm sorry. I don't know. The same thing they do with Lucas Hayatus. The same thing. They know that the fans are waiting. They know that the fans, you say Lucas, and the fans are like, oh! The other day I saw that I got really freaked out when I saw it on YouTube. there was a YouTube channel that used the same logo and name as SM and he had a trailer of Lucas of 2 months ago saying that it was like a sort of comeback, but it was fan made. It wasn't the real SM, and you know I was freaking out. I was like, oh my God, is Lucas coming back with this teaser? You know, I don't know, and there were fans like letting people know that this is fake. You know, but I also fell for that. So you know, internet, the more you know, the less you know. So, okay, guys, let's move on to the questions of today. Oh, yes, Parvati. I was like, oh, yes. Yes. Okay, guys, let's move on to the first question, Monster X concert. Oh, the Strength card. So, the strength card actually it means you know the inner strength. Actually, it's not physical strength. It's more about you holding in your instincts and your inner desires and passions. That okay, you want to do everything right away, or you want things to be amazing, and you do need to be patient with yourself. You know, of course, that there's going to be a lot of there's going to be a lot of strength available for them. So I think it's going to go very well. But they need to not use or overuse or misuse their energy and vitality. They need to keep concentrated, you know, not to get too passionate or hype up and be like, oh, okay, we're going to do this, you know, because I see them like feeling really passionate. And I'm sure they are very passionate people. But they need to slow down, you know, they need to slow down the um, the they do have a lot of expectations, you know, and they probably are very passionate about this project and about the possibility to have a concert. Is it confirmed or not? Because I see them like, and also people telling them, you know, to okay, like slow down, you know, like keep calm, like don't get too excited, you know, like slow down, like don't run all your energies, you know, like hi Amber. So you know, I think definitely these guys have a lot of inner strength. So whatever experience they will go through, they will always come up stronger. Because this is a card that is also the card of resilience. You know, there's a lot of resilience here. There's a lot of, you know, this is why the lady, the maid, is holding the lion's mouth, because somehow she is like preventing the lion's true nature to come out. You know, she is somehow like touching him, you know, being gentle with him and being like, okay, slow down. I know you have a lot of anger. I know you have a lot of passion. I know you're passionate about what you do, but you know, like reserve your energies, reserve your energies. You are okay. You are strong. You don't need to prove yourself with others, you know. Like you got it. You got the power. You got the love. You are stronger now. There's something about them, you know, you know, there's something about them, and strengths. You know, probably there were moments where people told them that they weren't strong enough. or that they weren't going to make it, or that they weren't going to survive, you know. So this is why for them it's important to look tougher, you know, to look more prepared, to look like better than ever. You know, there's this need of, I need to show myself, like I need to show them how strong I am. And there's no need, because actually the strength comes from within. So you don't need to prove others. The people that know you know that you are strong. Okay, let's move on to Sun and Mingy. Ace of Pentacles. I don't know actually what the perception of the person that asked this question. I think it was Angel, was it? I don't see friction here, actually. I see them like they definitely are very successful, and they feel the pride, and they always see the results of their hard work. It's like there's always recognition for these two. I think that this is probably, I think some of you mentioned this, you know, about I think you mentioned this about them being probably very popular, the two of them. So the two of them have this level of success. They definitely are very stable in their image. There's something about them being really successful and really famous, and they will get a lot of more, I wouldn't say more screen time, but probably they will get more deals or activities or exposure. You know, there's this like, yes, I'm making money, or I'm being recognized, especially because they do represent a sort of like very high standard, you know, very prosperous, like they cannot do anything wrong. You know, there's something about them being like, they really are money makers. They really are money makers. And they are very stable. And I think the relationship is stable. So I don't see, but you know, they are, what they have in common is that they are both really popular. Like, I think someone said this, that they are very popular. They do have that shine, you know, sort of like, they have this. But, you know, also when you have this card, it means that if they go through moments where they have disagreements, or if you perceive that they could have moments in the relationship where things don't go that well, actually they always succeed, and they will always, like, you know, resurface from the ashes. You know, they will always heal their bond, because actually they do put the effort. They can get emotional, yes, because like I mentioned, they are both very emotional. They are very strong-headed. They always want to get what they want. They always have their own versions of the things. You know, probably both of them are very strong-minded about, okay, yes, this happened. Okay, I know what I felt when this happened. You know, it's like they both stand their ground. They're both very like, oh, I have my version, and I know how this went down, or something like that. But at the end of the day, they are very rational people at the same time. They are very stable, in a sense that they look for stability, and their bond is stable. So they will always be working on that. It doesn't matter the differences or whatever people can perceive, I don't know. But in their bond makes them also successful. So it's part about prosperity as well. Okay, win-win. Oh, we were doing so well, win-win. The other day, I pulled an amazing card for win-win. And now I got this. The Five of Pentacles. Well, there's a change in circumstances with win-win energy. Somehow he does feel a bit like not appreciated. You know, like being left outside in the cold, like these people. I don't know if maybe they are like coming out with a new project and somehow he's not included in that, or the group is not included. You know, he definitely feels like, like, for him, and this is why I got this Five of Pentacles, because I think that it's not about feeling sad or feeling like worried. It's more about money, actually. I think that Win-Win is a Scorpio, but his moon in Virgo of his is always like taking the first road in his intentions, in the sense that he wants to see more money flowing. He probably is thinking about, like, okay, I want to keep improving in my popularity, and I want to give it like a very like a stable kind of flow, and probably he's not seeing the results right now. Probably, I don't know, did he finish a few of his activities? Probably he's in the process of waiting what to do next, and he somehow fears that he will not get the chances he desires. He's very ambitious. He's very ambitious. So this is why I think that probably it's not that he doesn't have opportunities. I think that he does feel left out sometimes, or there's something about his perception of what's prosperity, or what's to be abundant, or what is considered to be successful. So he does put a lot of pressure on himself about getting opportunities. So when he doesn't have enough opportunities, or the opportunities that he wants, he gets frustrated and he gets into this Five of Pentacles mode, where he starts to worry, or where he starts to overthink and think, okay, maybe they don't like me, maybe they don't understand me, they don't see my potential. He starts to get really critical with himself. So I think he should stop doing that, because I think that there's this mindset of, like nothing is abundant enough, is actually making feel get fixated too much on the material things and not taking care of other aspects of his persona, like his emotions, like how do you feel, what are you thinking, connect with your inner world, not just with the material world, connect more with your inner world. He's too focused on work. He's like, I think that probably he doesn't have much social life as well, or probably social things are very hard for him because he's always busy or trying to be busy or trying to make connections, but from a very transactional kind of thing, not so much like emotional. So probably he gets too attached to his results when it comes to work because he doesn't have much outside of that. His whole world revolves around work. BTS Las Vegas concert. BTS Las Vegas concert. BTS Las Vegas concert. The Chariot. So yes, BTS Las Vegas concert is on the move. it's on its way. Yes, it's great. I think that it's needless to say that BTS is a success, and they are on their way to achieving something great as well. I think that the great thing about this card and BTS concert and BTS thing is that this card talks about an emotional movement, an emotional journey. So for them, it's not about, it can also be, because their concerts are about making money, but for them it's more about, reinforcing and rebuilding again the presence, the kind of presence and physical interaction face to face that they had with the fans. For them, I think probably the last concert it was great, but probably since it was like the first one after so many years, probably they felt a bit off or a bit awkward when it comes to how energetically they were, how present they were in the experience. You know, everything happened so fast, like, you know, like everything was so fast that they didn't get the time to actually enjoy it because they were busy trying to think about the details, you know, like, oh, I want this to be perfect, I want this to be this, and I want this to be that. And also the feeling euphoric inside, but not being able to show it because of feeling emotionally, you know, when you feel too much and you can express it, something like that. So here in this new one, probably you will see them a bit more relaxed, a bit more comfortable, and a bit more emotional, you know, like really emotionally invested in this experience with the fans. And the fans would also, I think that this is what they want to do. They want to reach the fans. They want to move towards the fans. They don't want to become strangers to their fans. They don't want to become an hologram or, you know, someone, you know, like an urban legend. Oh, BTS is so huge, or BTS is so amazing that BTS is up there and we are not allowed to see them, touch them, you know, interact with them. They want to be, they want to move to the fans. They don't want to lose that close bond that they have with the fans. So they are moving forward, the fans. They are making the necessary move. Probably they were at some point the company or someone that I think that they're very overprotective of BTS. So they were like, oh, but what do you think if instead we do this online, or we do this, you know, like a documentary again? Or what about if we do this, you know, very, I don't know, like very like an online thing, you know, like very high tech and stuff. And they were like, no, we want to see the fans. We want a real experience. I think it's a decision that they made, actually. Because they could have the potential to be like, okay, I will be sitting down at home and, you know, we will play the online concert. No, they wanted to go, they wanted to move, make the effort, the physical effort to go see the fans. Okay, so Yongo, 80s Yongo. Eighties Yongo, 10 of Pentacles. Yes. I think that actually he's very well taken care of. You know, he got the 10 of Pentacles. So there's a lot of people around him, actually, because, you know, Pentacles also represent the body and the physical health. So there's like a lot of people like attending him. There's a lot of people taking care of him. And also he is with his loved ones. He is surrounded by really good people. Like probably his family, but also everyone is dependent on him, and if he is hurting or if he's feeling uncomfortable, they will come to his rescue or something like that, you know, because I see him like, you know, that maybe this is here because, you know, this card is also about unity and community and you know, feeling abundant because you have people around you. Probably it can also mean that if he does feel a certain way, like physically ill, or something is hurting, probably he doesn't want to say it because he didn't want to disturb the others, you know. And this is more about, no, come on, if you have an issue or if you have a problem, you can talk with your community about it. You can talk to your family about it. They got your back. You know, you are not alone. You don't have to act like nothing is wrong. You don't have to act like, oh, I'm professional, so I'm not going to say anything. No, you can be vulnerable and you can have, you know, an injury, or you can have like, don't think bad about yourself. Don't think less about yourself, because you have a lot of people here like very willing to help you, to assist you, to be there for you, to comfort you, you know. So and there's a lot of, also there's a lot of money about this, you know, there's a lot of prosperity. So when it comes to physical and probably health things, you know, I'm not a fan of companies actually, but I see money here. So I think that I don't know much about their company, There are a lot of things that they can lack on, but I think that health things are a main priority for them, and they pull resources out of nowhere to assist the guys. Oh my god. White guys. Okay. Jumping cards again. It wouldn't be a K-pop reading if there weren't like jumping cards. You're welcome. Okay, 2 p.m. last one, and then I'm going to go because I have to cook, guys, and you also have to move on with with your Sundays and do something chilling, healing, something nice with your Sundays and not being here. 2 p.m. 8 of Cups. So 2 p.m. are they still together? Because I see them like they are moving on emotionally from something. You know, like probably they had like a moment of a lot of, I don't know why, but there's a sense of them feeling like they gave it all and no one actually, I'm not talking about the fans, I'm talking about people around them not appreciating them enough. So there's this sense of like, okay, I have nothing left to give, you know, like, um, there's this sense of I know better right now. I know better right now. They're a bit disappointed. They are a bit disappointed. And I don't think, okay. Yes, there's this sense, you know, there's a person leaving. And it's not, hi, Winnie. There's not, you know, it's not about the sense of, okay, I'm leaving because, you know, there's a sense of, okay, like we done what we could. We gave it all. What else do you want from us? What else do you want from us? And there's also this sense of not having enough creativity, you know, because these cups are empty. So there's this sense of not having enough creativity. There's no room for creativity. So they feel like, okay, I will move on. I will go to somewhere where I can find a place and you know, like they are very emotional guys. They need emotional support. They need one of 2 p.m. is getting married and going to become a dad. Yes. It's just that it doesn't mean that they are quitting. It means that they are, for the first time in their lives, they're probably choosing to go to a friendlier, more healthier environment where actually they can get the love and recognition they deserve as individuals. You know, this is not about the group. This is about them looking for a higher meaning in life. You know, like, okay, what's out there for me? You know, what can I accomplish as an individual? Like, I have questions. I want to explore my possibilities. I want to explore the world, you know. And I know that a lot of people are going to say like, oh, I turn my back on our dream, or I turn my back on, but no, it's about doing this for myself, you know. This person is with a stick because it's this sort of wanderer, but is this person that is embarking on a journey. This is why it has this stick where he holds on to this, you know. So because he wants to go for different stages and adventure, he doesn't want to stay here contemplating to all the things that no longer exist or all the things that are not good enough, you know. It's like having a bit of love for themselves, you know, and being like, I deserve better. Like, okay, I understand that you do not have enough for me. Like, I get it. You cannot give me more, and I understand this. There's no hard feelings here. This person is not turning their back because it's offended. No, it's because I, as an individual, am making a decision today to not continue here. But I'm not blaming anyone. I'm just doing this for me. This is why you see this person here. Because it's a very individual resolution. It's like when it finally hits you, you know, when the realization finally hits you that you're like, oh, maybe I invested too much in this and I didn't get nothing out of it. You know, and probably it's also about connecting with the desire of, oh, maybe I want to try something new. Maybe I want to. And you know, when someone leaves, I always say this, when someone leaves, it's a sort of, it leaves a door open for the people that remain to also rethink about their own options. You know, because, oh, this person left, but maybe this person with their actions is somehow helping you open your eyes to that you also have the possibility to walk away from something. That there's no need for you to lose yourself in something that you no longer believe in, that you have to put yourself first because no one else will. So I think this card is a card about self-respect. You know, it's when you are like, okay, like, I thank you. There's no hard feelings. I'm not living angry. I'm not living like, you know, like in tears, like, oh, you done this to me. No, it's more about me. I'm choosing this for me today. Okay, guys, this is all I have for today. I hope that you enjoyed it. So, you know, we had been here for a while, so I'm going to go. So I thank you again to all the people that are always here, that are always like joining the conversations and stuff. So I'm going to let you know during the week about the Discord channel. I'm going to look for it to see how it's done, how it's you know, because I had participated of Discord channels, but I know nothing about it. So if once I have one properly made, I will share the link with you. So thank you so much to the people that actually made the recommendation, because I had the idea, but I was like, maybe it's not. And also remember that I'm going to let you know which day I'm going to go on Instagram Live. So maybe if you have the possibility, if you are free and you want to join, I will be telling you when I will be doing a live. So on Instagram, because I want to do it, I never done it, so I want to see how is it. So thank you so much for being here, guys. Have a great weekend. Bye.